Hello, everyone, and welcome to the senior groups meeting. Every Thursday, we have this meeting wherein we have speakers speaking about different topics which are of interest and which are of benefit to the seniors. So, as we all know, Moksha Canada Foundation is a non-profit organization which has been operating since 2014. Moksha is a Sanskrit word which means liberation, and we celebrate even seniors with joy. They are living with joy and happiness, and we like to, at Moksha, we like to celebrate different cultures through selfless service. So, our vision at Moksha is to engage, to connect, to empower communities to become healthy and to create a positive change in the social, cultural, and economic development, especially in the amongst the senior residents of the neighborhood. So we have a very knowledge speaker here, and I would like to introduce Sarah Bowers Peter, who is our presenter for today. Sarah is the program coordinator for Crime Stoppers Gulf Wellington since 2014. She sits on the Ontario Association of Crime Stoppers Board of Directors and has been appointed to the Canadian Crime Stoppers Association as the communications chair. In 2020, she was named the 2020 Paul D. Baudriot Coordinator of the Year by Crime Stoppers International. Sarah also serves on Safety Communities Wellington County, Wellington Gulf Drug Strategy, and Gulf Wellington Action Committee on Sexual Assault and Domestic Violence. So Sarah will be speaking about this topic only today, and we welcome Sarah. So Sarah will have her PowerPoint presentation, and after her presentation, I think we will have some question and answer sessions. Thank you, Sarah, if that is okay with you.
Yes, thank you, Meeta. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak with everyone today. I always have such a wonderful time with my Moksha friends, and being able to connect with you is something I look forward to. So I'm going to just share my screen and we'll get into our PowerPoint presentation. This particular presentation is going to be, here we go. Hopefully, can everyone see that now? Should it be the Ontario Crime Stoppers logo? Perfect. So I'm going to be talking from the Ontario Crime Stoppers lens, because I know we're talking to people from different areas of the province, and I want to make sure that we're representing all of our programs as much as possible. So today, Ontario Association of Crime Stoppers wants to support the senior community and encourage seniors to be active participants in keeping their neighborhoods safe through crime prevention, reporting, and resolution, which is a lot of big talk. For we know our seniors have a role to play in helping keep our community safe by using a program known as Crime Stoppers. I'm going to explain a little bit how the program started. In July of 1976, Detective Greg McAleese was investigating a robbery which evolved into a homicide at a gas station in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Now, point of interest here, Detective McAleese was actually born in Canada, here in Ontario, and he was investigating a homicide of a 20-year-old male. His name was Michael Carmen. He was working at a gas station in the cashier area. He wasn't even supposed to be working that night. He was supposed to have the evening off, but he switched shifts with a friend who needed to have the evening away from work. So after 6 weeks with no leads, McAleese saw two things preventing the public from sharing information: a valid fear of revenge. This was a very high crime area, so they were afraid that if they said anything to police that someone would find out about it, and public apathy. So why do we care about what happens to someone else? So Detective McAleese then went to the local TV station for their help to air a reenactment of the crime. So they got actors and they set it up and they filmed it like they thought it happened. To overcome apathy, he offered a cash reward from his own pocket of $300. Now, I do a student version of this presentation, and when I tell the kids that it was $300 from his own pocket, their eyes kind of roll back in their head because they think $300, that's not a lot of money. That it can't get you a decent gaming console anymore. But when I explained to them that in 1976, $300 would be like $1,000 today, you can see the respect that they have for what he did. To prevent reprisals, Detective Mackley set up an anonymous phone line, and within 72 hours, this case was solved. With the information that came in on that first tip line, 6 other armed robberies were also solved because these individuals had been involved in other robberies. So they got them on all of the cases. And the first call on the tip line solved an outstanding rape case. And that's when Detective Mackley realized that this concept that he created for this one occurrence was actually something that could be very useful in any occurrence in any community. Today, Crime Stoppers is active in 26 countries worldwide, and every 14 minutes, Crime Stoppers provides information that solves a crime somewhere around the world. Here in Ontario, there are 37 programs, just like the one I'm from in Guelph, Wellington. We all use the toll-free number of 1-800-222-TIPS, and we have web tip options on our website. And I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. You can see down the right-hand side just a couple of the international programs that are affiliated with Crime Stoppers. So how does Crime Stoppers actually work? It is a community partnership between the police, the media, and the public, with Crime Stoppers really in the middle. We're not a police organization, even though that's a common misconception. We are a side program, separate and apart from the police, and we rely on our police partners to give us information that they need help with to solve a case. We go to our media partners, hoping that they will help us magnify or amplify the message. And most importantly, we need our public, our communities, to come forward with information that will solve crimes. So we'll talk about the process like this. So Crime Stoppers perhaps will reach out to our police partners, our investigative partners, for cases that are unyet resolved. We request that information to share with the community. We then take that information as we structure it in what we call the Crime of the Week, and we share it with our TV, radio, print media, and our own social media platforms to help increase awareness and create engagement with our communities. The public then sees, reads, hears this information, and then comes back to us by calling 1-800-222-TIPS, which is 8477, or providing a web tip on their local program's website. Both of these options are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When the information comes in, Crime Stoppers will sanitize the tip. So what that means is if someone were to contact us and say, you know, I live across the road from someone who has, who I think is manufacturing meth. Well, we would take it any reference to the fact that the tipster lives near the location of interest, because we don't want anyone to be, even the police, we don't want anyone to know who that tipster is. Being anonymous means you're unknown, and we keep your information confidential as well. This is designed to keep our tipsters safe. So we sanitize the tip, making sure there's no identifying information, and we provide the information to our police partners. Police never know who provided the tip, and that's frankly because we don't know who is providing the tip. Our officers are trained, our partnering officers are trained on how to handle the tip, both during the investigative process and the court process. So once the police have the tip, they will investigate it to make sure it's valid. This frequently leads to arrests, the recovery of stolen property, and/or seizure of drugs. Now, I have a lot of questions right around here when people say, if I call in a tip, will the police show up right away and arrest the person? Absolutely not. It's hard when we watch TV shows and you see a case solved in 20 minutes. This is not how real life works, especially if it's drugs. Drugs take a long time. The officers have to do a thorough investigation. They can't arrest someone without having enough information to obtain a warrant. If they don't get a warrant, there's not enough evidence for them to go on. They can't advance that information. And to be clear, a Crime Stoppers tip is not evidence. You notice I'm not calling it evidence. I'm calling it tip or information, because it's unverified. People could provide information with the best of intentions, and it's incorrect. They didn't see it properly, or the lighting was bad, or their mind played tricks on them, or it was too dark to really know. So we have to make sure that the investigation takes place. We let the police do that. Every tip that we do get, though, is forwarded to an investigator. sometimes we actually get information that the police aren't aware of. This is called unreported crime. So if someone were to contact us and say, hey, you should probably know, I'm aware of information, something's going to happen next week or on the weekend type thing, a couple of days out. And I think something's going to happen. That is something that we're very interested in. So unreported crime is information that the police are not aware of. And a crime about to happen is the best scenario. So it hasn't happened yet, it's about to happen. And we're able to give investigators the heads up of a crime that could take place. So that gives us the opportunity to prevent someone from being a victim of crime, which is the optimum experience. So a quick review of that first portion, trying to understand why people don't report crime. Well, the fear of revenge, which we talk about. So anonymity is huge in making sure that people feel safe. An attitude of apathy. Why do I care what happened to someone else? We know that cash money is a great motivator, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's how our program is structured. Rewards are important, as well as education and awareness. So even after me talking with you guys tonight, you're going to feel better, at least I hope you will, about what you can do in your communities to help keep them safe, because you have the information and you know what to do with it. So that's empowerment right there. And then a reluctance to get involved. Well, again, a cash reward can be a motivator for some people. I should clarify, not everyone that submits a tip is interested in the cash reward. Many times people just want to do the right thing and they just want to get some information off their chest, and they're not necessarily motivated by a cash reward. However, we do not want you to call us if it's a 911 situation. So if it's a motor vehicle collision, if it's a fire, if it's an assault or someone is injured, please call 911. We don't have dispatch capabilities for ambulance, fire, or police. So you really do still need to call 911 for an emergency situation. And the second time is when you are a victim of crime. You can't be anonymous, and the only tips that we take are from individuals who need to be anonymous. So I'm going to pick on Mita for a second. If she were to contact us and say, there's been some damage done to my vehicle, I need to report it. Well, if Mita knew who did it, she'd probably just tell the police so they could deal with it directly. If she comes to us and she feels she needs to be anonymous, the police won't know who owns the vehicle. They won't know what the vehicle looks like, where it was parked, because they need to talk to the owner of the vehicle. So hopefully that makes sense, that if you're a victim of crime, you must be known to police, you must talk to police, and Crime Stoppers is not the avenue for that. We believe that someone other than the criminal has information that can solve a crime, and no tip is too small. I know a lot of people say, well, I don't think I know that much, or I'm not sure what I saw. Let's go back to what we mentioned in that what I mentioned in that previous screen. An investigation has to take place. So if you're holding back on information because you don't want to get someone in trouble, because you don't know if it was them or not, they won't get into trouble if they didn't do it. There's no evidence to support their involvement. It won't result in a warrant and an arrest. So please make sure you come forward. Something as simple as the type of vehicle, the color of a vehicle, the time of day, where you were in relationship. I could see it down the street, or I could see it, over by the school. That can be helpful too. So just make sure that, if you're looking to be anonymous, you want your information confidential, that Crime Stoppers could be a great opportunity for you. We always encourage people to use our police services. If you want to provide information, if you're not worried about anonymity, if you're okay with possibly being a witness in court, go and work with our police partners. That is absolutely fine. But not everyone is comfortable interacting with a police officer or being in the court or police environment. So for that reason, Crime Stoppers might be a good option for you. So why don't people report crime? And for today's discussion, specifically our seniors, why would our seniors maybe not be interested in reporting crime? I'm sure you've probably been told to mind your own business. And I know I'm a mom and I'm a daughter, and I've told my kids, and I've been told by my parents to mind my own business. Crime Stoppers want you to mind everyone's business. To have a safe community, we all need to be involved, and this is how to do it. If crime is happening in your neighborhood, isn't that everyone's business? I don't want to get involved in someone else's problem. And you know what? I get that. Life is complicated enough right now. You may not feel like you want to get involved in something that is someone else's problem. But the truth is, if a crime happened to your child, grandchild, a friend, wouldn't you want someone to help them? That's something to think about if you're holding back on information. I don't want to be a snitch, or you can put in there rat or tattletale, because we've been conditioned, right, that it's not a good thing to talk about stuff. We have to be loyal or to someone that's committing a crime even. This really sounds negative. And certainly for us in Crime Stoppers, we don't talk about ratting or snitching. That is not the terms we use. It's far too negative. For us, we look at it as stopping a criminal means preventing neighbors and friends from becoming victims. And how could that possibly be a bad thing? When a crime happens in your community, the entire community becomes victimized. The example I usually give is the fact that, and you've probably had this in your own community, whether it's, in your complex, maybe someone's car's been broken into, or, someone who's had damage to their home. When you find out that's happened, well, if it could happen to them, it could happen to me. And you start changing your behavior. You maybe change how you do things, or your habits, your routines. You buy extra locks or security systems. And while that's good, it's unfortunate that we have to take those extra steps. So the best thing to do is try and reduce the chance of there being crime in your community at all by making sure we're reporting things that are maybe suspect or concerning, things are out of the norm. That's when you should be coming forward to help prevent your community from being victimized. By taking action, you can feel empowered, knowing you have helped prevent your friends, neighbors, and family from becoming the next victim. And look what our seniors can do. Being a tipster isn't easy. I'm not going to pretend it is. You have to be brave. You have to be willing to come forward with information, whether people know it's you or not. You have to be passionate about your community. You have to be willing to provide information about something that maybe you don't like talking about. Maybe it's human trafficking or a sexual assault that is just not something that you want to discuss. But it's so important that our tipsters do this, because they are making the suffering for a victim end. They're making our community safer. And that's really what's most important. So I'm going to use my home program of Guelph Wellington as an example to show you what the tip process looks like. So on the right-hand side, you can see that's our homepage of our website. And I know it's kind of small, but if you see the little red box there, it says report a crime here. If you click on that, you'll see on the left-hand side, a form pops up. This form is, there's a couple options. You can do drop down, you can do free type. It asks you all kinds of questions. Now, you may not be able to fill out all that information. That's okay. You just provide what you have. And I want to clarify that this is not an email communication. You are not emailing us this information. What you're doing is you're entering our website. You're putting that information into a portal on our website. So there's no way for us to track who you are. This software is designed specifically for Crime Stoppers programs, and it is designed to protect the information and to protect the individual providing the information. Okay, I'm not techie, and I'm not going to confuse the issue by trying to explain how it works. That's how it was explained to me. And we do make sure that our security is maintained in an ongoing manner to ensure the safety and integrity of the program. All right, cash rewards. Now, I'm going to start off by saying not every program offers a cash reward. Our friends at Toronto Crime Stoppers have moved away from the reward system. And if you want to learn more about that, I would encourage you to go to the Toronto Crime Stoppers website. They've got some information there. But for the most part, other programs throughout Ontario do offer cash rewards. And it's based on a standardized template that all programs use. It's based on the number of arrests, the number of charges laid, and the number of cases that are cleared as a result of the information you've provided. It's also based on the dollar amount of drugs or property seized. The severity of the crime also plays a role. This point system determines the reward value, which is presented to the board of directors for approval. And the maximum reward is $2,000. So when you go online and you click submit and you start your process of putting that information in there, there's no place for you to put your name. You may not have been able to see that, but if you were to go check it out, and I encourage you to do so, you won't do any harm by going in, and you can look at the form and then you can just exit out. You can't give your name on that form. You provide as much information as you have about the crime you're reporting on. You will never be asked to obtain information, and this is very important. We never want to put you in jeopardy. It's up to our police partners to do an investigation. When you click submit at the end of the form, a code will be generated, and that's the only thing that attaches you to the information that you've provided. So if you want to follow up, you're going to have to go through that code, and you can provide additional information if you learn more. You can also check in there to see if you qualify for a cash reward if you are interested. You may get a message from us through the web tip number asking a clarifying question, maybe if we don't understand something, but you would have to log in. There's no way for you to know there's a question waiting for you. We only know you as your code, not your name, email, or address. Most importantly, here at the bottom, never tell anyone you've called Crime Stoppers, even the police. And I do this presentation, I should say hundreds of times now, with police partners, and they know we say this. For you to be anonymous and safe, you don't tell anyone that you've contacted Crime Stoppers. Even if there's an officer standing on your door asking you, they shouldn't. They're trained not to ask that question. So just a reminder for that. It's virtually the same experience when you call. You don't give your name. You provide as much information as you have about the occurrence. We're going to ask you questions because it's a live interaction. It's not a robot or computerized system. You're actually talking to a human being, and they want to make sure they're getting the best information. So they're going to ask you questions to fully understand what you're sharing. Again, you'll never be asked to obtain information. We leave the investigating to our police partners. The code will be given to you verbally so you can follow up. And again, never tell anyone you've contacted Crime Stoppers. All right, so review on this part. We offer anonymity to the public who report information about crime. We pay cash rewards if an arrest is made. We have a national toll-free number, that 1-800-222-TIPS. We are community-based organizations across the province. We have a 24-hour hotline option. We have no call display, and we have no call trace. And I realize that's difficult to believe, but anonymity is far more important to us than having a phone number. So how do you know that Crime Stoppers programs are actually making a difference? We can't talk about the specific cases that have been resolved as a result of Crime Stoppers tipsters. However, we can talk about statistics. So our organization, the provincial organization, started back in the late 80s, early 90s, but there were local programs as early as like 1985. So to give you context, as far as our stats, these are for all the programs in Ontario. So as you can see there, we've hit over 126,000 arrests, $1.9 billion in drugs recovered. You can see like just the numbers are huge. Total recovered value, 2.2 billion, cleared over 135,000 cases. And the rewards, which are authorized by the board of directors, over $8 million in rewards. So you can see that there's an actual impact in our community, whether it's drugs or recovered property, that is getting back to getting that property back to its owners, or getting some dangerous drugs off the street. And to be clear, we mentioned before there's some misconceptions. Another misconception, aside from we're not the police, is the fact that people think that we're some kind of organization that has government funding, and that is not the truth. The truth is we're not-for-profit organizations that rely on donations from private businesses, organizations, private citizens, local organizations, local businesses, and fundraising activities. And as you can imagine, fundraising for Crime Stoppers this past year or so has been extremely challenging because of the limitations from the pandemic. Rewards paid by Crime Stoppers are not financed by tax dollars. All money required to support the program must be raised through individual and corporate support. Each program has a board of directors. This is very important, having that local community investment. So it's a volunteer civilian board of directors. They hold monthly meetings. In the case of Guelph Wellington, we've been meeting remotely, so via Zoom, throughout the pandemic, and it's been business as usual for us. Our board of directors maintain partnerships with police partners. They approve the rewards that are brought forward to them. They help raise the funds which pay the rewards. That's actually the most important role that they play. They also increase public awareness by promoting the program through their network of contacts. Okay, so hopefully I've either done an amazing job and explained it all, or I've just brought up a whole bunch of questions for you, but I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
That was a great presentation, Sarah, and very new, something very absolutely new to me, new concept. And so I was just wondering why and why would you be running this organization? Like when you are not getting any government funding or any support from the government, though you are helping the government actually, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, what it comes down to is our police partners, like I say, we have a great relationship with our police partners. And this option was just a unique way of solving crime, right? It was a way to reach out to the population who didn't feel comfortable going directly to police. And that goes back to that first case in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where people, like, it hit the 6th highest crime rate per capita in the US. So it was a rough place to live. And people did not feel comfortable having a cruiser in their driveway or their car parked at the police station. They just didn't want that. They would rather not come forward. And that was problematic because cases were going unsolved. And as I gave the example in that first occurrence, you know, those two jokers were responsible for a total of 7 robberies that they knew of. So it's important to find a way to engage the community. And that's what Crime Stoppers was. It's a not-for-profit. It's not about raising money. It's about community safety, which I know, you know, a lot of organizations talk about that. But it's community safety as well as crime reduction and crime resolution.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Yes, Sarah.
Hi.
Hi. I have some comments also and one question. First, I will ask one question.
Okay.
That is, when anyone call this Crime Stopper, and in how many minutes he get into the line, or he has to wait in the queue?
Well, that's a good question. Wow. I don't think I've ever been asked that before. But you know what? It depends. I'm going to be honest. It depends on the time of day that you call, right? Because I think there's busier times than others. You should not wait a long time. I mean, the longest, you know, I've heard people tell me is like 3 or 4 minutes. So it is a toll-free number. We do have a call center. So there's multiple people to take calls for the province. And the idea is that you shouldn't have to wait. Like it's not like waiting on, you know, for service or, you know, with elevator music for half an hour. It should not be that at all. And if you were to experience that long of a delay, I definitely would want to know about it.
Yeah, that was my concern, that then if one has to wait, then his mind can be changed, and you suppose he's busy, maybe some busyness, and that could be the reason. And if you are getting such type of any complaints, and then you should have more lines to be clear.
Yeah, not to my knowledge. Like I say, I've not heard complaints, but you know, if people are experiencing that, we would definitely want to know.
Because why I am saying, one of my friend, he told me that so many times, sometimes they see some crime is going on, and he called, and he has to wait.
Right.
Sometimes he waited for 15 to 20 minutes.
And that's calling Crime Stoppers, or
yes.
That's calling Crime Stoppers.
Anyway, and one thing is very good, that this idea is very good. One who has developed this, because if any crime is going to be happen far and from my home, and that if it not stopped there, that can come to my house another day. Yeah. Tomorrow it can be, I could be the victim. So absolutely, I encourage all to my all colleagues who are here, and then we will put this on the YouTube also, that all should do their duty as a good citizen. It shows that you are a good citizen to stop the crime. And we have to, this Crime Stoppers' main object is to make our community crime free. And I think that if you make this slogan also, crime free community.
Yeah, that's right. Excellent. So are you available for speaking engagements, sir? We'll maybe sign you up as a speaker, because I couldn't say that any better than you just did. That's excellent. No, it's true. It's we actually put our message into the high schools to talk to kids in grade 10, because that's when the civics course takes place. And it's a great message for the curriculum to say, being a good corporate or a community member, being someone who cares about the community. And that's really going to determine what kind of society we have, right? So it's very important. Thank you for your comments. I appreciate that.
Moreover, one comment, or to my knowledge, do you have some people who are, or you can say a small group of volunteers who go to the schools, colleges, and to the community centers and into the senior club to make the people aware of this project?
Well,
If
actually,
not, then I will say that try to make some such type of volunteers who can talk on behalf of Crime Stopper with the senior groups and to the communities and to the college and schools.
yes. I would say that our local program, so again, I'm from Guelph Wellington, that's my local program, but there are programs in Halton and Toronto and York and Durham region and you know, in Northern Ontario as well. They're all across the province. If you're feeling passionate about it and you want to get involved with your local program, they are always looking for volunteers. I was on a call earlier today with programs in the Southwest region of Ontario, and I cannot tell you how many of them were just, you know, begging for people to join, and certainly people that are willing to work, because we are a working board. We're not like a social committee. I don't want to misstate the involvement of being a volunteer, but people that are passionate, that maybe have time to give back to their community, and you were looking for a different type of organization, maybe Crime Stoppers is the one for you. And each program is different as far as what they need their boards to do. So, you know, it could be that in your area that you've got interest in having board members doing presentations when you're allowed to do so in person, or go into schools, or whatever the parameters are in your community. But I would strongly encourage you to reach out. A number of people on my local board are seniors who are retired people, everything from former business owners to retired school teachers. And it's great to have a variety. We have a retired detective sergeant, you know, can't be an active investigator and be on Crime Stoppers, but retired police. It's amazing to have them, because oftentimes they're the people that have investigated tips in the past, so they know that the program works. So anyway, I'm rambling there. I hope that answered your question.
Sarah, as I am involved with the few of the seniors clubs, as you have come here as in the virtual to tell us about this, and can it be made in person in communities level where we have the senior club, and how to approach you to send someone to guide them or to make the presentation there?
Well, I think I would encourage you to reach out to your local program. I don't want to ask where you are, because I know this is going to be live streamed, but if you want to reach out, like if you just want to search online, or, okay, here's a shameless plug. You can go to ontariocrimestoppers.ca and find your local program. There you go. I tied in the new website, and you can find out where your local program is and connect with them and see how you can get involved or get them to come out to your groups.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just
I have a question.
That's
Like,
it.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Neha,
okay. I'm just
Okay,
gonna
I'll
add something. I'm just gonna add something. That
Okay.
Gurudaji, like when everything will be normal, like better normal from COVID-19, we come out from that. We will do one event in which we're going to call out, you know, all the stoppers and, you know, even police enforcement, like whatever police people, to come and educate our seniors. So we're going to have a big program, something like that. So that they're going to be speakers live, and then you can ask, everybody can ask their questions, any problems, anything you have, ask them live. So this is what we're going to do once this COVID-19 going to go away. That's why we have this virtual, so everybody have at least some information, because a lot of people have misconceptions about the, you know, police, they're mixing together. They're two different things. So like if you know, but Sarah is telling you guys, like everybody, that like anything you see, if you think you want to save yourself tomorrow, do it today. Tell them today, so tomorrow you're safe. That's all.
Absolutely. So I have a small question here. you were talking about anonymity, right?
Yes.
The caller is going to remain anonymous. So how do you pay cash reward then?
Yay! You asked the $1 million question. I get so excited. It's like a trick. I do it to see if people are paying attention. So thank you for asking. Okay, the way it works is, I would have told you anyway at the end. It's not a problem. The way it works is this. So I remember I mentioned the code that you get when you submit your information. So
Yeah.
you have to hang on to that code, and it's up to you to keep checking in with your local program, because we don't know who you are. We can't reach out to you and say, oh, guess what? There's been an arrest, you get a reward. So you have to keep checking in with us. And eventually, if there's an arrest in the case, your coordinator will say, yep, you've been approved. The reward is $200, $500, $700, whatever it could be. And they will give you specific instructions on how and where to pick up the cash reward. And I can't say too much because it's different for every person who collects the cash reward. But I can tell you this, it's a safe public setting, and you've probably been in the vicinity of someone picking up the cash reward and not known it at the time.
Oh,
Isn't that, oh yeah, really mysterious, but it works. It's safe. We want to make sure people can get the money if they choose to get the money, but we don't want to advertise and put it out there specifically where that's being done.
I was going to say that sounds a lot like when you are with a call representative on the phone. You have a certain number, because I know that from Amazon, sometimes I have to call the customer service and they give you a certain number. And once you get that certain number and your time, and you have a time for maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes, then you get to talk to the customer service. So that sounds very similar.
There you go.
yeah. Absolutely. So actually, we see many old people, they keep sitting near the windows throughout most of the time. They spend most of the time of the day, they spend near the windows. So sometimes they do observe things, and they can really, help the society, help the community in, stopping the crime. It's a good thing.
Absolutely. And I know more people are working from home, myself included. But, our seniors have a very different schedule than people who work a traditional Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, or shift work kind of situation. So our seniors see things that we don't necessarily see, right? And their schedule is different. So the times that they're out and about is not necessarily the same times when you're a working member of society, when we're out and about. And that's why, I really emphasize the ability for seniors to make a difference in keeping our community safe cannot be stated enough. There's such an important role. We just have to get past that feeling of, oh, I don't want to say anything wrong, or I don't want to intrude on someone else. If you're giving information that's keeping your community safe, you could really solve a big problem that has been ongoing.
Absolutely. I remember my mother-in-law, when I would come back from come home from work, my mother-in-law would say, see, this was happening in the neighborhood, and this person came, so many people came, and I saw somebody going in their house and some people coming out, some people going in. So I would tell her, you are prying all the time,
Well, and that's what you'd think, right? But I bet you if the wrong car showed up at that house, she'd know, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Any other questions? I know we have some people that had their cameras off, but I'm certainly happy to answer. If there's a chat question, or if you want to type it into the chat feature, I can answer questions there too.
If there is any question, anyone? You can write in chat if you have any question.
That just means I covered everything.
Yeah, it was very much clear. There are a few doubts which you cleared us.
Really clear.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I always enjoy coming and chatting. Thank you so much for having me. This has been great.
Not only thank you to you, thank you to Crime Stopper who has started it.
Yes, yes. I will pass that along.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you to Sarah. Every time when Moksha Canada and any other programs, even youth or anything, she always there for us, to support us, to give us her knowledge to us, so we can learn from a lot of things we don't know. We think we know, but we don't know. Even though it doesn't matter, we are senior, we are young, whatever. Everybody have to learn something every day, something new. And
That's
really
true.
appreciate
That's
Sarah. And last thing, I just want to see if you can give the slide to us, maybe if it's possible, email to us. That slide we can use if it's possible. If not, that's fine.
The presentation, you'd like the presentation?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sure I can arrange that. I'll send it through Lynn. Is that okay? Because I have her email right off. Okay. Okay.
Sarah, as a medical professional, I used to say prevention is better than cure. So here, prevention is better than repetition.
I think we need to sign you up. You've got the best lines. That's perfect.
Absolutely.
You're welcome. Thank you for appreciation.
For the comments.
Thank you again for sharing your knowledge and being here with us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Be safe and be well, everyone. Take care.
You
You
too.
too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
जी
ये थी सारा जी जिन्होंने हमें आज क्राइम स्टॉपर के बारे में बताया और निर्भीक होके आप अगर किसी क्राइम होते जानते हो या कोई आपके समझ में आता है तो आप बिल्कुल निडर होके निर्भीक होके विदाउट एनी फियर डायल दिस नंबर व्हिच दे हैव गिवन सो दिस इज वाज ए वेरी गुड सुनील जी जो आपने अरेंज करवाया इनको इट्स वी थैंक यू वेरी मच
ये वेलकम सर जी। ये तो जरूरी चीजें हैं जो हम सबको करनी चाहिए। मतलब हम लोग करते नहीं है, चाहे वो हम सीनियर्स हैं, चाहे यूथ है, चाहे कोई भी है। उसने बिल्कुल सही बताया कि भाई लोग डरते हैं कि हमारा नाम आ जाएगा, वो हो जाएगा। और वो बता रहे हैं कि भाई लाइक नाम कोई नहीं आएगा, किसी को नहीं पता चलेगा, आप हमें बताएं। पुलिस का कोई मतलब नहीं है। अगर पुलिस वाला भी वैसे पुलिस वाले पूछेंगे नहीं आपसे, अगर पूछते भी हैं तो आपको नहीं बताना कि भाई हमने इनसे बात करी। मतलब सब सेफ है। मतलब कि अगर हम आज रोकेंगे, जैसे हमारे गली वाले में चोरी होती है, कहीं पर भी चोरी होती है, राइट? कल को पड़ोसी की हुई है, परसों हमारे हो सकती है।
बिल्कुल।
एक्चुअली ये क्राइम करने वाला है उसे उत्साह मिलता है कि इसमें तो यहाँ कोई मुझे रोकने वाला है नहीं।
बिल्कुल।
This is the purpose of this session. These sessions से इनसे knowledge मिलती है। ये मेरे लिए तो relatively नई बात थी, तो मतलब relatively क्या बिल्कुल ही नई बात थी। तो naturally बहुत लोगों के लिए होगी, किसी को पता भी नहीं होता है ऐसी चीजों के बारे में।
नहीं, बट मीता जी इंडिया अब तो कनाडा में भी यहाँ पे भी क्राइम्स काफी शुरू हो चुके हैं, रॉबरीज शुरू हो चुकी हैं। नॉट लाइक दैट बिकॉज हमारी कुछ दिन पहले गाड़ी पता नहीं बाय चांस बाय मिस्टेक खुली रह गई या क्या हो गया। इट्स मंथ्स अगो आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट। तो उसमें someone came at midnight and whatsoever we had, sometimes you leave the change in the box middle, वो seats के जो middle में box होता है उसमें change आप छोड़ देते हो, तो sometimes you leave that। और कुछ एक coupons थे, he stole everything and went away।
Oh my goodness।
So morning में when we got up and we find the car doors were opened, so we got scared कि ये क्या हो गया। But the right thing, again the thing was that to whom to go for complaining। so we remain mum, it's okay। but अगर आप कैमरास भी लगा लेते हो तो you cannot find the person in that way कि हाँ कि अगर कोई दिखाई भी देता है तो उसकी कंप्लेंट भी करोगे तो उसका कुछ वो होता नहीं है। तो इसीलिए वो होता है कि चलो अपनी सेफ्टी रखने के लिए जरा रात को और थोड़े केयरफुल हो जाते हैं कि चलो एक बार खुद ही ध्यान दे दें और once again you go and check the things properly।
पहली बात तो विंकी जी, आपको चेन वेन जैसे आप रखते हैं, गलती से रख दी, हमें वो गलतियां करनी नहीं चाहिए ताकि दूसरों को
एक्चुअली गलती सर बात ये है कि इट्स वी वो तो सेंटर लॉकिंग है वैसे गाड़ी की। नाउअडेज यू गेट सेंटर लॉकिंग एंड ऑटोमेटिकली इट गेट्स लॉक्ड। तो द थिंग इज यू नेवर नो, बट आफ्टर दैट you think maybe we have left, and we are not saying that we left that opened the car, but the thing is you are not aware who has done this. Because अगर सेंटर लॉकिंग कुछ कोई खोलने की ट्राई भी करता है तो बाहर रात को आप साउंड स्लीप में होते हो, you never know who came and who did that. तो जो भी था, but that was not a big robbery, but robbery is a robbery. It's being a big or small. You cannot say that.
अब इसमें ये
Yes.
चीज है ना, वो यही बता रहे थे कि जैसे अब आप कितनी चोरी कर रहा था, गाड़ी से सामान निकाल रहा था, राइट, चेन
Mm-hmm.
सामान था। अगर कोई और बंदा दूसरे घर से देख रहा होता, कई बार लोग होते हैं बाहर बैठे होते हैं, कई बार नींद नहीं आ रही, घूम रहे होते हैं, सैर व्हाटएवर टाइम,
Mm-hmm.
दो यहाँ पे कैमरे में तो कोई टाइम का नहीं है, कोई रात की shift
होता है,
करके आ रहा
yeah,
है,
this is
कोई
true.
2 बजे शिफ्ट करके आ रहा है, कोई 4 बजे आ रहा है, तो कोई देख सकता है। देखो तो मतलब ऐसे करके
Complain
बताओ,
करो, yeah, this is
ये
very
उनका
much true.
मतलब था, ये उनका
बट
मतलब।
हाँ, नहीं वही होता है ना सर, एक्चुअली फिर समवन कुछ दिन के बाद समवन पुट इन द मतलब इसमें किसी ने समवन पुट द वीडियो ऑफ दैट पर्सन की ऐसे हमारे एरिया में ऐसे रॉबरी हुई है, तो हमारी कार में से किसी ने चोरी किया। देन वी थॉट मे बी दैट पर्सन ओनली बिकॉज ही वाज नीडी, कोई एजड था, मे बी ही वाज नॉट वर्किंग समवेयर एंड ही वाज नॉट गेटिंग एनीथिंग इन हिज हैंड, दैट्स व्हाई ही इज डूइंग द थिंग कि जो भी हाथ में आ जाए इट्स ओके। तो कार्स ही उसका यही मोटिव था कि कार्स ही खोलना मिडनाइट में, और जो भी होता था कार में से निकाल के ले जाता था। आफ्टर दैट मे बी ही माइट बी ही सेलिंग द थिंग्स कि चलो छोटी छोटी जो चीजें आ जाती है जो हाथ में आएगा दैट विल बी फाइन।
आपको मैं सच्ची बात बताता हूँ, कई बार क्या होता है कि हम लोग सोचते हैं ना, कोई यंग बंदा चोरी कर गया या कोई मिडिल एज कर गया, कई बार मैंने देखा है कई ओल्ड एज लोग भी होते हैं।
That's what I'm saying, he was old person only.
और उनकी आदत होती है, जैसे कोई बिजनेस में जा रहे हैं प्लाजा में, दे चेक द डोर्स, जस्ट चेकिंग द डोर, आदत है, दे चेक द डोर, अगर खुला है घुस गए अंदर।
Yes,
दैट्स व्हाट दे डू।
yeah, this is right. वही होता है, हम लोग अवेयर नहीं रहते इन चीजों से। समटाइम्स यू गेट इनसाइड इन हरी और पीछे से वो दरवाजा खुला रह गया, बट अदरवाइज तो ऐसे होता है कि पहले तो कभी सुना ही नहीं था ऐसे। बिकॉज वंस माय सन लेफ्ट हिज वॉलेट इन अ रेस्टोरेंट and he got, when he went back, he got that wallet back, and but this is so unfortunate कि अब गाड़ी का दरवाजा खुला रह गया या कुछ हो गया, we were not aware, तो हो गई।
पर लेकिन विंकी जी, पुलिस में रिपोर्ट जरूर ऐसी चीजों की करनी चाहिए कि हमारे यहाँ ऐसा हुआ है, क्योंकि ये क्राइम स्टॉपर तो जो है वो तो क्लू जो है आपसे मिलेगा तो दे विल टेल टू द पुलिस।
हाँ जी, हाँ जी,
इन्होंने तो
डेफिनेटली।
यही काम करना है। और
हाँ जी,
पहले जगह रिपोर्ट्स की हुई हो तो अगर ज्यादा एक ही लाइन में हुई है तो, और नहीं भी अगर पकड़ा जाता तो पुलिस अपनी गश्त उसमें बढ़ा देती है कि इस एरिया में ऐसा क्या हो रहा है, क्यों हो रहा है।
this is true, yeah, definitely in future I'll be careful, but I hope and I wish it
और
should
ये तो
not
जैसे
happen
आपने बताया ना,
again.
ये छोटी छोटी चेंज आप ही नहीं, बहुत से लोग जनरली रखते हैं,
हाँ
क्योंकि
जी, हाँ जी,
या जो लोग खासकर जो अब आजकल तो खैर डिजिटल हो गया ये मनी का भी, लेकिन पहले जो टोल प्लाजा पे जाना होता था, इसलिए भी लोग अपने थोड़ी बहुत ही चेंज जो है वो डैशबोर्ड में रख लेते थे देने के लिए।
बिल्कुल। कभी इतना वो किया ही नहीं सर, मेरे साथ एक्चुअली 2-3 बार ऐसे हो चुका है। तो when we were new here we went to buy some furniture from furniture shop, so we were just browsing the furniture over there. So my son was trying to by sitting on a sofa set so that just want to check it whether it's comfortable seat or not, and that time he was wearing jeans and he just left his maybe by mistake, that is definitely by mistake only, he left his wallet over there, and we had cash in that wallet, 500 cash. So we never keep this much cash here in the wallets, because when you have credit cards in your wallet, there is no need to keep this much cash in your wallets. So when we just spent 15 or 20 minutes over there, we just browsed and we came back outside. And after that, when we were just going to sit in the car, and he just checked it. He said, "Oh, Mama, my wallet is not there. Maybe I have somewhere I have thrown inside only in that furniture shop only." And at once we went back in that furniture shop, and we did not find. And we complained on the reception that counter. They said if you had cash in the wallet, then maybe you would not be getting that back. And we didn't get back that wallet and everything. Then at once my son got his cards blocked from the bank and made calls and everything. He had to do all the process from the beginning with his license and his all the credit cards and debit cards. So you can't say. But this is बस यहीं पे हम रुक जाते हैं. Maybe this is my mistake. I have done this mistake. I have missed my wallet there. तो बस उसी
Don't do
में भी
again.
complain नहीं की. Yeah,
Don't do
definitely.
again.
Yeah, it should. Yeah, definitely. संतोष जी, ये तो होता ही है, तो करना ही पड़ेगा. We'll have to
Yeah.
start from ourselves. हमें अपने से ही
हाँ.
start करनी है ये चीजें.
Yes.
Yeah.